Call the meeting to order. Roll call, Mr. Karate.
Mr. Accomando.
Present.
Mrs. Borelli.
Present.
Mr. Buffy.
Present.
Mr. Havison.
Here.
Mr. Quinn.
Here.
Sanchez.
Here.
Mrs. Scannapieco. Mrs. Ottarelli. Mr. Gurick.
Present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. Franklin, presentation.
So we have 6 very excited first graders here from Franklin School. I'm going to introduce Mr. Kuzmano, who will introduce Ms. Kugler, but I want to thank them for being here tonight, and thanks to our first graders for participating and coming to show off their skills. The district has made a significant investment into Orton Gillingham training over the last several years, and so we're fortunate enough tonight to be able to see from the presentation some of the skills and strategies of Orton Gillingham and what they are actually doing and what the impact is for our students. Mr. Kuzmano.
Pleased to introduce Ms. Jamie Kugler, who is one of our first grade teachers. She'll be presenting to you Orton Gillingham with these wonderful students who she'll introduce. It is a multi-sensory approach to phonics instruction, which is a foundation for reading and for spelling. And I'm very pleased that our parents and their siblings are here, and by that I mean not just of the children, but also of the students. So, enjoy.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, thank you for having us. I would like to thank Dr. Katz, the members of our Board of Education, and Mr. Kuzmano for having us. Once again, my name is Jamie Kugler. I'm a first grade teacher at Franklin School. I have some wonderful students with me today. We have Hassan Sheikh. We have Clara Shaheen. Sophia Word. Amira Sarah. Jose Suamo. And Jill Social. Today will be presenting to you Orton Gillingham. This is a multi-sensory approach to phonics. We use it in our classroom as our spelling program. So rather than just learning a random list of words to memorize, we really are applying concepts. So we learned one concept a week in spelling. For example, 1 week we will learn L-plug. So every word that we practice will be full, full, full. All these words will have L-plugs in them. Now our spelling list will not be the exact words that are on our spelling test, because we're really testing them to see if they understand the concept, not if they can just memorize what we're speaking words. So to learn these concepts, we do what is called a 3-part drill. This is very multi-sensory to learn their concepts. And we have Sophia, who is going to explain the first part of our drill.
The first part of our drill is just pull up hold up these cards, and then we just say what's happening. So with the out, we say move.
This part of our drill acts as a visual. So every concept that we learn has a card to go with it. Every week we add new cards to the class. By the end of the year, it's pretty fit. So let's demonstrate. Very good. And as you can see, this acts as a visual. They're looking at the cards as they're saying the sound. And now we are going to have Dylan explain the second part of our drill.
It's the stand. The stand is, Ms. Cooper says a word. It's either a word, blend, or letter. We put it out on our stand, and the rules are you can't eat the stand, don't put as many fingers, but if you're left or right, put that finger, and make sure you listen to the
lowercase d, d.
Okay, interesting. Very good. Yes, I see that. You made the D. Very good. You're smart. Very good.
Sound is duck. He says duck. They are writing the letter as they're underlining it. This is for our auditory learners in our classroom. They're listening to the sound, and it's also for our kinesthetic learners because they're really feeling it. Two different things of brain understanding, especially here. That goes with the program. Let's gently shake it up. The next sound is chuck. C-H says chuck. Very good.
Very good.
Well,
Very
let's
good.
try another one. Let's shake it up. Let's try one next time. The next one is gruff. D-R says gruff. Very good. You shake it up. We can put our stand in the middle of our table. And that is the second part of our drill. So far, we've helped our visual learners, our auditory learners,
Very good.
aesthetic learners, and now Obey is going to explain the third part of our drill.
The first one is keyboard. Scuba. It's a word. We say it, and if it's a real word, we put a thumbs up. If it's not a real word, we put a thumbs down.
Now, here we have our second word. Let's take all the concepts that we've learned, and let's try to put them and let's try to make real words out of them. So let's try the first one.
Full in flip.
That is a real word. Let's try this one.
Full ash flash. Full ash flash. Full ash flash.
But we're practicing sounding out our words, and we can really tell what's a real word, what's a fake word, because we know all these concepts. So very good. That is the third part of our drill. In our classroom, it really doesn't take more than 10 minutes to do this 3 times a week to really help them become familiar with all of these concepts. And now we're going to put what we've learned. Let's try it out and make real words ourselves. We do dictation on Wednesdays, and what we do is sometimes we have little symbols to help us know what's a blend, what are 2 letters that make one sound. So let's first have Hassan come up and show us what we use tapping hands to sound out each phoneme. Those are the individual sounds in a word. So Hassan, the first word is chat. Very good. And he uses tapping hands to sound out every sound, and you spelled the word correctly. Good job, Hassan. Amelia, can you try out another word? Amelia is going, she has a blend there. You are going to spell the word grill. Grill. Syllable words that ended in S, L, F, or D, and with you double the letters. So we just say Sammy loves fried zebras, help them remember those 4 letters. And last but not least, let's have Clara come on up and try a word. Can you spell the word blush for us? Blush. many words that we cannot sound out. We call these red words, and we're going to have Amelia explain what red words are.
Red words are words that do not sound out. I'll give you an example of a word. Like set, the S is right if you sound it out, but if you sound out S, it would sound like an E, but it's actually AI. In this place, no E, and the D is right too. If you sound it out, it would be S-E-V, but it's actually S-A-I-V. What we do in our classroom is we use our arms like that, like S-A-I-D, set.
Very good. These words we have to memorize. There's really no other way. We can't sound them out. So by arm tapping, we're feeling how many letters in the word. It really helps us remember how to spell these words later on. Right? It's easier to store in a long-term memory. So let's practice. Let's try the red word no. I know how to subtract. Let's try this one. Ready?
K-N-O-W, no.
Can I hear you do it?
K-N-O-W, no.
Now that we have this word fresh in our minds, we're going to seek out our red word booklets. You all have them as well in your red folders. We call these our red word books. And in these books, we use our screens, which the son is going to explain how do we use these screens. Open up the screens. We put these right under our papers as we write the word. What does this do?
The screen helps you feel the bumps when you're done writing the word. When you're done writing the word, you take the screen and you leave it on the back of that one paper. Then you trace the word with your pointer finger, and then when you're done doing it with your pointer finger, you take the screen and put it on top and do it one more time. And that helps us know how to write the word.
Very good. There are many nerve endings in our fingers, so we use these screens to help us recognize the formation of the word. So let's all practice that. Let's all take our screens, put it under that one paper so we can feel the bump, and let's write that word no. K-N-O-W. No.
It's okay.
You know, that's our own see. If you look, because of the wax crayon, our letters are all funky. So we can feel the small bumps as we trace that word. And now, as Hassan stated, let's put our screens on top of the word, and let's feel those big bumps to help us really remember how to read this word again. K-N-O-W. No. Very good. So this is how we practice our red word. But that's not all. If we turn to the back of that one, please. Clara, can you explain what we do over here?
We put our screens underneath that page and we write the next number. So then she'll tell us the word when we write that word down. But first we look on the board to make sure we know about how if it's on if it's in the basement or if it's in the attic.
Because some letters like B go to the attic, some letters like G go into the basement. This also helps us with our spelling, our spatial recognition. Very good, Clara. So on the back, we'll write that word 3 more times to help us really remember how to write the word down. And sometimes we like to sing and be fun, so we say, give me a K. Give me an N. Give me an O. Give me a W. What's that spell?
No.
Very good. And now we're not going to do it right now because it's time, but let's have Dylan. Can you explain to us what we do at the bottom of this page?
Write a sentence, but you have to underline the word if it's constant. If it's exclamation mark or period, you have to do it. And you always have to underline the word that you're using that you wrote down
seem a little repetitive because we really have to memorize these words and store them in our long-term memory. The more we practice, the more we'll understand them. So this method I find is extremely effective at getting our students to apply phonics concepts rather than just memorizing. So we showed you how we learn phonetic words. Our red words are non-phonetic words, and I want to mention with our spelling list every week, whatever the concept is, we also include 3 red words a week. So by the end of the year, we have many red word booklets that we keep at home, we can practice for years to come, and we'll become great readers, great writers. Our class has been doing great, really comprehending every concept that we learned so far this year. And I really enjoy this program. I know our kindergarten, first, second, and third grade teachers use it. I really recommend it for any teacher who teaches phonics in the program. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all of our first graders. Ms. Kugler said what great readers and writers you are, but you are also outstanding speakers, too.
Yes.
I'm really impressed with your presentation, so thank you. Ms. Kugler and Mr. Kuzmano, thank you so much for putting it together.
Thank you.
As everybody sees, when they introduced it as a multi-sensory approach, I think it's obvious how that's the case. And as Ms. Kugler said, this is happening in all of our classrooms and primary grades in all of our schools, and we're really trying to have students understand vocabulary and the language and not just memorizing words, because that way you have a much better grasp of the language, and clearly it's working. So thank you for your great work, and thank you for presenting. And thanks again to our first graders for being here.
Thank you. May I have a motion to take a 5-minute recess? All in favor? Any opposed? May I have a motion to reopen the meeting? Second. All in favor? Any opposed? May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items only? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Residents are requested to state their names and addresses and subject matter. In the event it appears the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 5 minutes duration. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public can be courteous and mindful of the rights of individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments, and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Does anyone wish to be heard? Yes.
Omar Rodriguez, 275 Madison Avenue, Saddlebrook. I was here on Monday, and I posed a few questions that it hasn't been addressed yet, so I would like to repeat those questions because they are on the agenda for tonight. And last time I was told that it was going to be it was going to be responded at the end of the meeting. It didn't happen. So the question was even more confusing than ever because item number three on the business and board, on Monday, Mr. Karate referred to a purchase that it was approved back in November. Then he was saying that we're going to go for a lease of 3 years. But now we're reading a lease for 4 years. So overall, the lease again is going to cost us $100,000, a new bus probably is needed, but the question was made on Monday, why to lease it instead of purchase it? Is what are the benefits, what are the cons? $100,000 is a pretty good decent amount of money to just let it go after 4 years of leasing. If it's not much of a difference on the monthly payments or yearly payments or however you arrange the payments, I will strongly consider purchasing a bus that somehow the school district will need it. Even after the 4 years we can trade it in, it will have some value. Because now I want to jump again and repeat again the question. On item number 5, we are approving the disposal of the 2006 Chevrolet utility vehicle. We were told on Monday that the engine is bad, it's not worth it, the engine. Then the question was made, why don't we replace it with a new engine? It might be more cost efficient. Have we explored that road? No answers have been, or it hasn't been addressed, is my understanding. Then why I'm saying that is because in order to replace line item 5, we have the line item 6. We are approving the purchase of a 2008 Dodge Sprinter for $19,500. We are purchasing a 7-year-old vehicle. It's already a 7-year-old. Brand new costs $45,000, but then again, the only concern is instead of spending $19,500, why not just to buy a new engine that is on the range of $7,000, $8,000 or $6,000? It depending on what are we looking for, if it's going to be refurbished or a brand new engine. That was just a question. The other question is on line item 7. Line item 7, the question was made why it was just one bidder that came for the windows. And the question was made or put into the floor on why are we just looking for aluminum frames. When I read the bid, it calls for aluminum. And I said it before that aluminum is antiquated. Basically, new schools where they use is vinyl. Maybe I'm wrong, but at least it's somehow it might be worth it to explore. Maybe for the future bidding on other schools, because my understanding that we're going to replace all windows and doors in every single school, which is fine and great. But the question was why is being preferred aluminum instead of vinyl? And I believe that those are the questions that were not answered, and those are items that are on the agenda right now.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll be back.
Does anyone else wish to be heard on agenda items only? We have a motion to close the meeting to public? Close the public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Corrado?
Under my report, I have the following. The minutes for February, checks for February and March, February payroll and March checks, budget appropriation transfers, and financial reports for the month of January as well.
Roll call.
Motion.
Oh, motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
I gotta do a roll call.
Opposed? Roll call.
I gotta do a roll. Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Buffi? Yes. Mr. Havison?
Yes, but abstain from A, subpart B.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mrs. Canipieko?
Yes.
Mrs. Otterelli?
Yes, with the exception of check number 47613, I abstain.
And Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
And that concludes my report.
Student representative report? Councilman?
It's over the last month. It's nothing really explicit happened. Franklin School, actually recently started this little, it's what they call Minions Math Facts. So it's what they do. They have all their students from the schools gather facts about math. They could range pretty much anything because it's about math. And just in the March, just in the month of February, they collected over 150,000 of them, which is pretty impressive. And at the high school, the park testing just finished. There was a little bit of interruption because of the snow day, so the schedule had to be adjusted, but other than that, everything went according to plan. Mr. Ortega had a play to present Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's called Damn Yankees. It turned out excellent. Everyone loved it. There was no negative feedback. The seniors had their senior banquet March 17th, and also the Saybrook High School freshman wrestling team. They won the Bergen County freshman tournament, so that was quite an accomplishment by them. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Casper.
Thanks, Casper. I have nothing additional to report that we didn't review on Monday, so we'll just move into the agenda. Student services, a motion for items 1 through 3.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Arcomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Buffy?
Yes.
Mr. Havison?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mrs. Canipico?
Yes.
Mrs. Otterelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gurick?
Yes.
Business and board, motion for items 1 and 2.
So moved.
Any discussion?
Just, Mr. Quinn, we did add in positions
Yes.
as you asked for all staff members, and we'll leave that moving forward.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Mr. Arcomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Buffy?
Yes.
Mr. Havison?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mrs. Canipico?
Yes.
Mrs. Otterelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gurick?
Yes.
Motion for items 3 through 7.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, so I'd like to address some of the items. Number 3, just to clarify, the bus has a 20-year life, which we're financing over 4 years. So once we're done paying off the 4-year lease payments, we will own the bus for hopefully another 16 years after that. For 5 and 6, the disposal of the 2006 Chevy utility vehicle. That vehicle has approximately 260,000 miles on it. The truck's been evaluated, and with other items that can go, we felt it was better to purchase another vehicle. We looked at new, we looked at used. We felt this vehicle, this 2008 Dodge Sprinter, would be valued to the maintenance department. It's a diesel, and we expect a long life out of that vehicle. As far as the window bid, we did receive one bidder. Vinyl windows are more for residential. They don't make vinyl windows in that large, for our schools. Aluminum windows, and this all comes from our architect, aluminum windows will last much longer. And also with bidding for these projects with a referendum for state grant funds and debt service aid, they also need to be pre-qualified vendors, so kind of limit some vendors. You can't just select a window company from down the road and bid on the project. So there's a lot that goes into it.
Any other discussion? Roll call, Mr. Crowder.
Mr. Arcomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Buffy?
Yes.
Mr. Havison?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mrs. Canipico?
Yes.
Mrs. Otterelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gurick?
Yes.
Personnel, motion for items 1 and 2.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd just like to recognize our 2 retirees. Louise Ardito, who's been the secretary at Franklin School for 21 years, is retiring, and we're very happy for her. I was talking to her the other day, and I know I said this to the board when we spoke about it in our closed session on Monday night, but there's nobody who currently works at Franklin School that has been there without Mrs. Ardito as the office secretary. So it would be very different there without her, and she will definitely be missed. And as we talk about history, Randy Milch is kind of an encyclopedia of Saddlebrook, and this building even more so. So, as a guidance counselor, knowing your families and knowing your students is obviously one of the most important things, and she certainly has that knowledge, and we'll miss her as well, but wish her good luck in retirement too.
Roll call.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Buffi? Mr. Havison?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mrs. Skinnapeko?
Yes.
Mrs. Otterelli?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
I'm going to group the rest, motion for items 3 through 11.
Second.
Any discussion?
I don't know if there's any questions.
Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Buffi? Mr. Havison?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mrs. Skinnapeko?
Yes.
Mrs. Otterelli?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes. Committee reports?
Yes, I have a quick committee report on the budget. We had our final budget meeting this afternoon. We have managed to get it to a balanced budget, staying at the 2% cap. There was a lot of tough decisions to be made. I think it went well, and one of the things I'm excited about is the fact that we managed to preserve our momentum moving forward academically and keep a lot of academic progress going through to the next year. So we're very excited that we could keep up all of that still in the budget and still keep it the 2% cap. The actual pre-budget, tentative budget approval will be Monday. That's a notice. If you want more details, it'll be going into then, and that's it.
And we'll be sending out information to the full board from the committee prior to that meeting, so you'll have all that information.
Any other committee reports? Okay. Any old business? I'd just like to mention the 5K on April 18th at 9 o'clock, Saturday morning, with Saddlebrook Educational Foundation. Mrs. Robinson was here last meeting. She mentioned it, so please come out and support us. Thank you. New business? Okay, I need a motion to open to the public.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Trier, or people call me Deb. I've come to you tonight because I have a friend in need. Her name is Mary Rodriguez. They live on the corner of Franklin and Saddle River Road. 2 of their 3 children attend Smith School. Mary has been sick for over a year now, and as you see with the packages that are going around, their family is in need, and it takes a village, and I think that we need to be the village. So I'm honored to sponsor a fundraiser for Mary and her family, and I am here asking for your help. I have met with Dr. Katz already, and he has given us his seal of approval that we could go through the school system, and I am getting some very positive feedback, but I wanted to bring it to your attention tonight and ask you to help me help the family. We are doing a basket event during the dinner, and we're looking for people to donate baskets as well. From the simplest gift card or a couple lottery tickets to if you have a connection with somebody and you can ask them for help, whether it be something for the basket event or whether it be some type of financial donation, whatever it could be, we're asking for your help. The other part is we are very lucky. We have most of the food being donated from different facilities in Saddlebrook, as well as the Goffel Poultry Farm is going to do all the turkeys for us. So that was a big score for us. It is a full dinner, hot and cold buffet, and we have a DJ. And we're asking people if you want to make it a date night or a girls' night out, guys' night out, beer, wine, and soda included. VFW has generously given us the hall rental at member rate, so we're encouraged about that. And there's a personal letter that I wrote on the last 2 pages of the packet. It's my story about Mary and what she's been through, and I ask you to take a moment to read that at some point. And again, If you are, keep it with you. If you're going out to dinner and your waiter or waitress comes over, ask them, could I see the manager? And give them the letter and let them say, okay, we can give you a $25 gift card or something towards anything we can do to make this family's life a lot easier. I'm asking for your help. So I thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does anyone else wish to be heard?
Good evening again. Do I have to state my name again and address? No? Okay. As you might be aware, I have Oprah, just timesheets, and it's public information. But before I jump into this response, I would just like to point it out that on Monday, again, it wasn't addressed also. I brought it up that it should be some kind of forms, some kind of disclosure from all the elected officials, as well as the professionals that are empowered, that every single official and executive, you want to call it, or the top administration should disclose whether the school district is doing business or has done business with some of the vendors. I believe that it's unethical, it is unprofessional, and and it could just become criminal. In order to avoid that in the near future, you should prepare a form. Any jokes, Mr. Cox? Are you smiling or something? I thought for a second you were smiling.
I may have been.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead, continue.
Okay, no, because I thought that I throw a joke or nothing. This is serious business. And some of you knows where I'm coming from, and I hope that this doesn't happen again. And if it happen, I hope that it's not a pattern, and everybody should disclose and have to recuse themselves from voting and even from discussion when one of your relatives or close ones are one of the participants on any type of job doing with the school district. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but I'm saying that they should recuse themselves completely out of the room when discussions are being made about how jobs are going to be awarded. And that's serious business. And through the chair, I would like to, or to the president, I would like you to address that and try to see with the legal department if it's any kind of document they should type up, and everybody just to disclose that they got no business, no interest, no affiliation, or none of the relatives with any company doing business with the school district. Saying that, I will just move on with this Oprah that I received. I will just like to address, it's just two items. One is redundant from the month of January, but on line item 1, as you might be aware, I'm looking at the response now, it's about the timesheet for all building and grounds personnel for the last 2 weeks. I don't know if you are aware or not, but maybe it was an oversight, but I'm missing the timesheet for the building and grounds supervisor. It might be an oversight. I just want to let it pass. But now I would like somehow in the future to receive it. Then the second part to the same item in timesheets. I don't know if you are aware or not, the way I'm looking at it right now, this is being done in the Flintstones age. The way how they keep in track of the hours. I know for a fact that some of them arrive late to work. I know for a fact, and I got records. But if you see all of them are marked as 8 o'clock. All of them. Every single day. Is this the way to keep track of timesheets? Is this the way to keep track and erasing, marking it over? No, it wasn't 4 hours overtime, it was 5. no, it was not 4 or 5, it was 4.5. I mean, you see some of this? I believe a kid in the school can do a better job than this. We paying lots of money. The payroll right here is almost $750,000 a year. And this is the way we control the money in Saddlebrook? I believe that this is some serious discussion for you to take it in a closed session or whatever, but it should be a recording system in which the employees come and punch or either put the digital hands and find out what time they're really coming, because there is no motivation for them to arrive on time. A lot of them are coming late. A lot. Many. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But you know what? They don't work 40 hours a week. Per contract, they work 32 and a half, sometimes 35. But guess what? That's fine. But at least arrive on time. And if you can, by any chance, you just got to be docket. That is the proper way of doing business. So please consider in the near future to have a better record track on all hours being worked, because it's not possible that themselves they filling out the hours that they come, go, or leave, and the hours of overtime. This is not proper. This is not 1920. In digital age right now, it might not cost you more than $500 or $800 to just put a system and everybody sign in and sign out, and if you have to go to lunch, just to keep record. So I just bring it to your attention. And I hope Mr. Karate to just get the other timesheet for the building and ground supervisor. I want to believe, and I want to assume that it was just an oversight, and that's what I didn't receive here. Okay. And the last point number 2, that I said it was redundant, and this is about the phone bill. This is the phone bill. I insisted, and I will keep on insisting. I received the legal brief. I haven't had the chance to dissect it, but I read it. I read the case. I haven't called yet to find out if the circumstances are the same. I was reading the law, and I was just sent the Gannett, New Jersey, which is a newspaper, Partners versus the City of Middlesex. That was done on appeal in 2005, and it calls, by the way, this case, when it started, was even prior to Oprah. That's what this supersede Oprah. This is kind of old case, but it's still a state, so it's legal, it's found, that's fine. However, what I haven't found out yet, first let me just go to history. They're saying that they cannot provide me with a detailed version of the phone numbers that I'm requesting, because based on this case, I should not allow, because again, Oprah came after this. But this is the case. I don't know in this particular case, but right now the school district is paying for these cell phones. Or the taxpayers are paying for these cell phones. It's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 3, it's not 4, it's not 5, it's not 6, many. Taxpayers are paying for it. I believe that if taxpayers are paying for it, they should have the right to request those records. Now, that's fine, even if the legalities are there not to disclose those numbers. Some of the people that are actually, or some of the employees, I'd rather say, that are in possession of those phones are making extremely good money. They should be able to afford to pay for their own cell phones. Now, even again, if the law says not to disclose those phone numbers that I'm requesting, some of you might say, oh, they don't want you to see who parent or what parent they're calling. That's totally untrue, because those phone calls happen in office hours from a phone in the school district, a landline, what is called a landline. But if they have a cell phone, I want to know if it's really needed, and I don't want to dig into who they call, but I think it should be a stop, or at least from the new school year over or on. If someone wants to, or for the district to pay for their cell phone, they should be aware or sign a paper that those numbers will be public. I don't want to even go to the past, because there will seem to be no reason why a public official or employee will want to hide their phone billing records, assuming that they are acting in good faith and conducting the school district's business. If that's what we're paying for, that's what they're supposed to be doing with those phones, not personal calls. And again, every cent adds up. So please, in the name of transparency, I would like you to look into that, and I will keep on coming with that, because I don't think that is proper. If it's nothing to hide, it should be public records. Thank you all for listening. Have a good night.
Does anyone else wish to be heard? There's a motion to close the meeting. All in favor? Any opposed? I'd just like to state that each board member does fill out a disclosure form with the state. You can get that record online. The administrators also have to do it as well. So there is transparency. I can't just go hire my brother. Okay, so just so everybody's aware of that.
There's also something in the law called the School Ethics Act, which requires board members to follow and abide by and also receive ethics training. So if there is a concern that a board member is violating the School Ethics Act, there's also recourse under the law, and this would not be the appropriate forum to address that.
At this time, the regular meeting has ended, and there will be no further action taken. We will take a 10-minute recess to set up for our workshops on school ethics, maybe. We did that last time. That will be presented by Mr. Alan Nunziata from the New Jersey School Boards Association. The public is welcome to stay. However, we will not be videotaping this portion of the meeting. I need a motion to recess the meeting. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you very much.